Twostoag, 916, and a beat by Young Rich. Yeah,
exclusive instrumentation.
might get 60 for the 30, trying to turn 27. Ayy, gotta be with real ones down on earth, plenty in heaven. When they looking for the suspects, never expected 3 crackers. Hollywood was mourning cause the victims was 3 actors. 916 youngest for real. We ain't never had no big homies. Can't follow my bro decision cause it's not how I would handle it. That don't mean it's Gucci if it's slide with disadvantages. Had to cut down on my sympathy or get turned to a mannequin. Leave you as a disembodied voice like Juicy Flanagan. Just smoke the surgeon, put the general in a big bag. You bitch look like a cigarette, just fuck would wanna hit that. I ain't finna box, I got respiratory ride. Run up on Twostoag.
All right, episode 9 of the Comedy Virgins podcast.
Cheers,
Everybody.
guys.
Yeah,
We got
Done
Mac,
and drank this beforehand.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
Horseman,
We're
also known as
super
Twostoag.
excited.
Yeah, man, that's a
Twostoag?
little nickname
Fuck
I
yeah.
came up with back in high school. Because I would always have 2 cigarettes, like one behind each ear.
Oh my
And
God.
in Sacramento, we call cigarettes stogs.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
Sure.
But that's what we call them. You know what I'm saying? So, like in New York, they call them squares, like different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we call them stogs.
Rhode Island is darts.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
See, that's a new one. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I'm always looking for new names for cigarettes and
Yeah.
shit. Like
2 darts.
darts, man. Hell yeah. It's funny because I actually been trying to quit smoking cigarettes like that, but you know what I'm saying. The name kind of stuck. So because you could also call a blunt a stog. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
So
sure.
it kind of works. But yeah, man. And then the little character I came up with, the Twostoag Shawty, is like just this little imaginary like placeholder for, you know, the exemplary woman that I would like to see in a Twostoag
Ooh.
environment. You know what I'm
Sure,
saying?
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
I kind of run with that, and you know.
Does she also have
the G spot.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
Like
right.
one of the bars I'll be using, like, you know what I'm saying, Twostoag Shawty eared up, but she don't listen to my music.
Oh.
Like she, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
she got
Not yet.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
yet.
So
How would you
Wait,
describe
wait.
this exemplary woman?
Well, before we get into that,
Oh.
does that mean that we are out of the running because we
what do you mean?
we listened to the music already?
Oh, well, first I think you got to be a female to be a Twostoag Shawty.
That's a requirement now.
But he's not that tall.
I got boobies.
Oh, shit.
I
No,
know.
that's
Boy
pretty
boobies
sick.
will never be enough.
Oh man, no, that's funny.
Oh man. So the
Oh, yeah, my bad.
exemplary woman.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't have to be something specific. I try to keep it fairly generic, but I try to keep it as like an action or like a situation rather than something specific pertaining to like them.
Okay.
But like just something that they might do, like you know what I'm saying. Me and Twostoag Shawty riding in the whip. You know what I'm saying. She rolling up, or she might be driving because I'm in the back seat. You know what I'm saying, handling the little sit. You know what I'm saying. Like I like to just keep different scenarios, and then instead of because y'all heard like in some music they'll like talk about a certain female or kind of try to make it like obvious who they're talking about. Like
Sure.
I'm not gonna say it, but I know. So I just
Like
try to keep.
subtweets.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
try to keep it like it's just like this kind of, if I'm referring to like something with a female or something, I just use Twostoag Shawty
Okay.
as kind of like this, you know what I'm saying? And
Sure.
different, like sometimes Twostoag Shawty might be trying to rob. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
Ooh.
can't
You
have
don't
a-
want that either.
you can't have a girl come into the spot, you know what I'm saying? If you know, so you got to be careful. You know,
Yeah.
depending on where you might have met the Twostoag Shawty,
That's
You know
a
what I'm
great
saying?
point. So
you got to be careful.
so what you're saying
Sometimes
is
she
you can't invite a female over.
What depends on, you know what I'm saying? It depends on the girl.
Oh.
You can invite a female over.
Yeah.
In
But-
fact, we might encourage you to.
Really?
But you know what I'm saying? Sometimes depending on the girl, you might want to go get like a hotel or something as opposed to
Sure.
bringing her to where you live and where you lay your head at. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause-
Motel 6.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Double tree, you know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Something like that. Doesn't have to be the
Depends
Mar-
on- yeah,
doesn't have to be
depends
the
on the
Marriott,
Twostoag
you know, it
Shawty.
depends
Yeah.
on the you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, man. I don't know.
Not $300 a night, more like $75 a night.
150, so yeah.
150, 150,
Whoa.
whoa.
Split the difference.
Golly.
You know what I'm saying? She might could pay for the hotel too, depending on the girl.
Oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? That
Depending
never
if she has
happened
a
for me, but
Motel
I-
6
You know what
membership.
I'm saying? But sometimes the Twostoag Shawty may be a
She's got
CEO
some
or something.
rewards.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, you know what I'm saying, scooping her up after work. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She just comes to, but it's kind of just I get a little creative with it and
Sure.
just try to keep that because I don't want to like talk about somebody like too specifically or personally especially
Right.
like a female. You know what I'm saying? Like I just try to keep away from that type of like.
I also try to keep away from the females. I know exactly what you're saying.
That's
makes-
not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. No, but
That's interesting though, because it keeps it like open ended. It can mean so many different things, and
Yeah,
then like you
and
have
then-
to. The other lyrics will help
don't have to commit.
figure out
absolutely.
what.
And then for the listener, because like maybe I've been doing music since I was like 12, 13.
Oh,
Oh,
damn!
damn.
Like
Wow.
I started. I mean, that shit was garbage, but you know what I'm saying. That's when I first started trying to like write music and you know try to make little basic beats on the keyboard and stuff like that. So that's when I first started. So maybe I'll say like 4 or 5 years ago, I kind of clicked like when you listen to your. I don't know if you get a similar when you like listen to your podcast back, but like you listen to it with the perspective of the listener rather than you.
Right.
Because it's always weird listening to yourself.
Yeah.
So I try to put it, okay, like if I didn't know me and I'm listening to it, so to tie it in with the Twostoag Shawty thing, it's like, it's kind of open-ended, like you said. So the listener can apply it to some situation that they've been in and it can kind of relate to it more. As opposed to if you make it real narrow and specific to something like real personal, then they might not gravitate towards it as much because they might be like, oh, okay, well, what's he talking about? Or I ain't been through that specifically. But if you leave it more like not too generic, but I guess like you said,
Applicable in a few different
Broad
ways,
with a
sometimes.
theme.
yeah. That it's a great way to put it. Absolutely.
That's interesting. I like that. That's really cool.
We should start doing that.
We make really specific jokes right now.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, fair enough.
I think 90% of the jokes are just references to each other's like sets that we do like on stage.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
stories that we've had that nobody else has had.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Huh. The more you know.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Me and my homies was talking the other day. We was like, if we had like y'all remember Blue Collar Comedy Tour with like Jeff Foxworthy,
yeah,
Larry
for sure.
Cable Guy, and what was the other brand name? But y'all know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So you know how they would have like they would each do their own set, and then they would all three be on the stage at the same time and
Yep.
kind of like riff off each other.
Yeah.
I was talking about that the other day because I was like, man, that'd be cool. Like just y'all made me think of it when they talked about like just different stories and shit, like of the homies. Because we were just when you get with the homies and you start reminiscing, like that'd be some of the funniest comedy
Oh,
because you just get back
absolutely.
like you're like, man, you remember that one time and bro, you know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
just-
Remember that one time I took my pants off
Yo, just-
and ran down the hill and then stuck my head in the ocean?
I do.
Yeah, man,
I do.
There's all kind of shit like that, man. Like I think sometimes like that's some of the best kind of comedy.
For sure.
Like, Griff, you can't go swimming right now.
So y'all known each other for a while. Y'all been cool for a minute.
Yeah, we've been friends since high school.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Good times, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's the best of times and the worst of times.
Oh, little tale of two cities.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn. Yo, I got a hair question.
Yeah, what's up?
So
I also have hair questions.
yeah, we might have a lot of hair questions,
Okay.
honestly.
Fair enough.
I have tried to grow my hair out a number of times.
As
Yeah.
have I.
Okay.
It gets it just goes up. I get an afro.
Really?
It gets really poofy.
I can see that you kind of got like more curly-ish hair.
Yeah, I hate it's bullshit. So like senior year of college, I had my hair down to here,
Okay.
but I had to have a beanie on all the time because it would just like
Oh, to
would
keep
just
it
go-
down?
Yeah, to keep it down and go down.
Huh.
Yeah.
So does it grow out?
It grows out. It does
Okay.
not grow. It doesn't. I tried to have what's it called? A man bun for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I just like, it's impossible. There's no ponytail, whatever you want to call it, that will reach all of this.
I ain't gonna lie. There is that awkward stage when you start to try to grow your hair out when like you don't have enough hair to actually put it back, but
Yeah.
it's like it damn near looked like you got a bob cut or something. Like I had that whole. I went through that shit, bro. Because I stopped getting haircuts at 15.
Damn.
Because I was getting like I had like your hair, honestly, probably
Sure.
shorter than that. Because I
Okay.
had like the little you call it?
The fade.
Yeah, it was kind of like a fade. Basically, I just had like the sides hella short, and then I had like the little slick back, like, you know what I'm saying, like 1960s,
Like
little,
G-Eazy.
yeah, like that,
Like
man.
a greaser.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I was big into, like, you know what I'm saying, the John Travolta and that type of
Yeah.
shit. So I was doing that. I had my Letterman and everything.
Sure.
Um,
Big fan of Brokeback Mountain. Me too, man.
Is John Travolta in that movie? Yeah, get ready for just a couple hours of this.
We go through a lot of edits.
all right, hey, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen that movie.
I ain't never seen. I ain't never seen.
I've never seen it.
But what's his name? Heath Ledger is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Big jokester.
Dude, he never got to watch that movie. Like
Oh,
he
for
never
real?
he died like 6 months before it got released.
Damn, that's crazy.
So basically like they stopped filming and then
Mhm.
like a month later he was dead.
Wow.
Jeez.
I didn't even know that.
So he didn't get
He
to
OD'd?
watch it from the.
Yeah, and like sleeping pills or something like that cuz he went to
Same
a
way they got
hotel
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
and Prince,
And Prince.
allegedly.
Interesting.
Hey, you seen Michael Jackson? He was finna buy the Beatles discography.
I think he owns it or he did own
Or he
it.
did
right?
own it? Okay, I
Yeah.
seen something about that. Like right before he was passed away, he was either trying to buy it or in the process of buying it.
Really?
Or not their discography. The term is their catalog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if when like the label owns them they just trade and buy and sell masters.
Really?
Yeah. In terms of audio, it's a real crazy. The music industry gets wild.
Yeah.
I don't even. Well, no, I stay away from it. I ain't really been enough, you know what I'm saying, up there to even be a part of the industry.
Not yet.
Really, but
Not yet.
Personally, for me, I don't ever see myself sign into a record label or anything like that. Like, I just want to keep it. I've seen, like, are y'all familiar with Sesh All the Water Boys at all?
I am not.
Okay, it's some California shit, but you know what I'm saying. They started in California, but they pretty big now. But they like some underground, like rap group type shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, they was very successful like 2013, 2014, 2015, like as independent. Like they never signed to nobody. They just they started doing like these little warehouse shows and shit. We used to drive into San Francisco and go to, and it's like mosh pit type shows.
Oh,
so
cool.
it was real fun.
That's
like,
awesome,
yeah, man. You go and just get all bruised up, just start elbowing people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Do all kinds of, but it's fun because at the end, it's like there's no bad, like it's not like you trying to fight the dude after the show. Like as soon as the song ends, everybody dapping each other up, like, yeah, you fuck with that song because you're all there to celebrate the same shit. Like you all fuck with the same music. So I thought that shit was hella cool. But anyway, to get back to what I was saying, I don't know. I don't like the
industry.
A lot of the contracts and shit like that. There's a lot of cool shit you can do, like as far as like, okay, you got a budget now. Like, okay, the label gonna give you a budget to shoot a video, or because we do all that shit. Like I'm not gonna say just me, but because I got people that help me and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like shout out, you know what I'm saying? My boy Young Rich, he make all the beats.
Shout out Young Rich.
That's my boy from way back. He make all the beats.
Oh really?
Yeah. We've been friends since like 12 years old type shit.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So that like when you first started, basically.
But yeah. Well, what's funny is we didn't really make music together till later. But we was always just kicking it, like skateboarding. We went to the same school and everything.
Okay.
But we didn't end up making music till like maybe 17, 18 type shit. Cause he started making beats.
Yeah.
And then I was rapping. I had been rapping. And like we knew we had, you know what I'm saying? But then one time he just was like, hey bro, like I've been making some beats. And he sent me a couple beats and I made a song. I think the first, you know what I'm saying, let me pull it up just so I'm accurate. But the first song we actually put out together was, I think, like 2016, 2017, which was weird because like we had been friends for so long,
right?
But then we, you know what I'm saying, it was all of a sudden we just started, and then we've just been going ever since. Like I fuck with a couple other producers like over the internet, you know what I'm saying, like message like beats on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But damn, I ain't got no connection right now. But yeah, it was called "Sorry I'm a Rapper." Was the first song that we ever did together, and it was basically just me. It was a kind of like a concept song. It was just basically the little bridge or the hook or whatever, where it got its name from was. It was just me basically being like you know what I'm saying? Like the reason I'm talking to you like this and I speak the way I did because I'm sorry I'm a rapper. Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like me
Yeah,
speaking to a
yeah.
girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
Right.
like she mad because I'm talking to her in bars or in patterns or you know what I'm saying? In a
Sure, yeah,
rhyme
yeah.
scheme.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Personally, I don't tend to speak to the ladies in bars, but it is something that I've been trying to work on.
Yeah, I've got a question related for sure.
Okay.
How do you become a Riz god?
A what?
A Riz god?
A Riz? I don't know what that is.
Oh damn!
You have to define it for me, and maybe I can.
How do you talk to pretty ladies without being scared?
Oh shit. Damn. That's a good question. That's like the challenge, isn't it? Like
It
I
is
don't know.
definitely a challenge.
It's a
It's
challenge.
less of like being scared. It's more just like gotta think of them as a human too. Like they got insecurities and they got things that they're worried about, and their uncle just crashed his car and got a DUI, and they worried about the lawyer fee. Like everybody got their own situation. Like because I ain't gonna lie, like I remember back in high school, right? You a freshman, sophomore, and you look at like the bitches who are like seniors and whatever, and
Right.
you're like, oh, like they're like so like you know what I'm saying? Like they're just up there, and I'm like, but then when I feel like the older you get, and you like, because I'm 25, how you're like
I'm 23.
24.
okay, yeah. So yeah, okay, so we get to the age we are now, and you start to realize like. Especially in the workplace and things like that, like age really don't mean nothing.
No,
Like in high school, like it was a big deal.
sure.
But like because I ain't gonna like I've been doing some electrical work. That's what I've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Pay the bills and whatnot. And I'm generally on the younger end of, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get them kids like fresh out of high school and whatnot. But
Right.
generally speaking, I'm on the younger side of the people that I work with.
Okay.
Mhm.
And don't get me wrong, like there's you know plenty of cool people, but there is definitely that like that section of people who are like, you know, late 30s, early 40s, and they mad as hell because they making the same amount of money as you, and it's like, hey man, like I'm not gonna fault nobody for how much money they make, but what gets me is when they get mad at you because you so much younger than them and you in the same spot that they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I realized like age really don't mean nothing, bro. It's all about like how much work you want to put in.
Sure.
And everybody got different opportunities. Like you may know somebody or you might have connections, but at the end of the day, you can't fault nobody for taking advantage of
Opportunity.
their opportunity. Because it's like
Yeah.
it's like you would call them stupid if they had opportunity and didn't take it.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like I don't like that whole like, oh well, he had X foot in the door already, and that's why he's successful. It's like, no, he might have had that connection, but he had to act up
You still
on it.
gotta-
And
yeah,
he
you
has to
gotta go
have
get
to
it.
put the work in
Right,
at the end.
right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So basically, say all that to go back to your original question. Like I feel like with bitches, it's like you got to just look at them like it's just a person. Like it's just a whole nother. Like they got all that shit that we was just talking about. They got all that going on too. Like it's not like, and I feel like it's less of like I try to go into anytime I encounter a female, I try to go into it with just like, okay, what's we gonna do right now? Like I don't try to think about am I gonna try to go on a date or am I gonna ask her out, or I just try to be like, okay, right in this moment, let me just appreciate talking to this beautiful female. You know what I'm saying? Talking about like, or just let me just hear what she's saying, or just even like just picking, because I'm a real auditory person. Like that's why I
Okay.
like music, and like I'll sit there and listen. Like when a new album come out, like I don't know, do y'all know O3 Greedo?
I do not.
Okay, he's
No.
from LA. He just got out after like I think it was like 3 years. He dropped a 33 song album.
Damn.
I
Wow.
was just listening to that. He one of my favorite artists. But anyway, but I'll sit there and listen to an album like all the way through when a new art, like not every, but like an artist that I like, I'll sit there and like a lot of people would sit there and like watch a movie.
Mhm.
I sit there and just listen to an album. Like I got like real nice headphones and shit.
Okay,
with it,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And I just that's just my shit. So I'm real auditory. So when I talk to a female, I just sit there and like I appreciate just the sound of their voice, like just the
Sure.
tones of it and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I try to have no expectations because then you can't get disappointed.
Damn, that is really good advice.
That's
God damn.
We've asked that question to pretty much every guest we've had, and that
Okay,
is
fair enough. Y'all put me through the
And all the comedians we know, and
Uh-huh.
nobody.
that is the best answer. Like that's
Yeah,
an actual
dude.
answer. That's not
Okay.
just
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I tried. You know what I'm saying?
holy shit.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah.
And I ain't even gonna cap. Like I'll tell you straight up. I'm not like I'm not out there getting a new bitch every week. Like that ain't me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, but that's how I try to approach it.
Damn, I think that's a
Man.
good jumping off point.
That is.
Hi, I'm Griffin, and welcome to another segment of The G Spot with me, Griffin. On this week's segment, we're going to try and add a little bit of flavor to your otherwise dull and boring life. As together, we find the G Spot. On this week's segment of The G Spot with me, Griffin, of the G Spot, banana pudding. It's even good for your teeth. And the family barbecue.
Boy, I can't wait to put this in my mouth.
Welcome to the G Spot.
Oh, Twostoag, tell us about the setup you got.
Oh yeah. Okay. So right now I just got a little. It's called like the Scarlet i2 something. It's a little red box about like that. Two mic ports. Ain't nothing crazy. I remember.
And do you mind bringing the mic a little bit
Oh,
closer?
yeah, my fault.
You're good. You're good.
Like that right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect.
I remember when I first started recording, I did a bunch of research on because I had got a microphone and not having done it before, right? I didn't realize, you can't just plug your microphone into the computer. Like you actually need a mixer. Like your little 12, 13-year-old, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit.
It took us till 23 to realize that.
Hey, well, you know what I'm saying? But I have been doing it. I have been trying to, I ain't gonna lie, the first song I ever recorded, I recorded on my mom's desktop with the you remember the old Apple earbuds, like when they used to have a wire?
Yes.
And they used to have the little clicker,
Yeah.
and they had a microphone on it.
Yeah.
I recorded my first ever song with that shit on there. It sounded so bad. I was on GarageBand trying to mix it, like I'm gonna get the levels right and everything, and it was terrible. It was terrible. I still got it on my computer, but it was.
We'll link it. We'll loop it in the background.
All you gonna hear is hella crackling and shit. No, it wasn't that bad, but yeah, but the rapping was terrible. But just going from that to getting an actual microphone and getting a mixer, and I ain't gonna lie, the only person that ever showed me how to do anything with music, everything else I done learned completely on my own.
Mhm.
Was my boy Alex, Lex Aura, 916 Lex Aura.
Shout out.
Yeah, he going crazy with the shit right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he got, yeah, he going crazy. Look, you know what I'm saying? Look my boy up, Lex Aura. But anyway, he the only person that ever showed me, he the first person that taught me how to like mix and do all of that in GarageBand. So I gotta always, you know what I'm saying, give that up, because he the only person that ever tried to teach me nothing. Everything else I done learned on my own and learned how to edit videos on my own and everything, all that. But he actually showed me the first, like, okay, this is how you EQ and your highs and your lows and all of that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but just to go from that to getting a soundboard, and it's real cool because I go back sometimes and I'll listen to my older songs and I'll see like little snippets of like, okay, I see what I was trying to do there, or like you see the progression of it. You know what I'm saying?
I actually do have a question for you about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, how do you determine? It's like with stand up, we're always like, a set is not the final product. Right. So like you go in, you perform, and then most of the time, like we both have like audio recordings going while we're on stage. Sometimes we'll have like actual shots if both of us are at the same venue or whatever.
Like in a headphone.
We'll take the video of it, but most of the time it's just putting our phone on
I've
a bench,
got
like next to it.
a voice recorder on my phone, so I'll set it up on stage.
Oh, so you can listen to your set back. Okay, exactly. I got you.
And then like most of the time I'll do like edits after that, like the actual content itself, like the jokes, like what worked, what needs to change.
Okay.
Things like that. How do you determine with like a song when it's ready?
Like when it's ready to record, or when it's ready to put out?
When it's ready to put out. Like like lyrical, like lyric
Like you
wise,
feel like it's tightened up.
like
Okay,
this
yeah.
is ready for
Okay,
me to like put out.
So when I'm writing, I'll find a beat, right? So most of the time I'm doing from the homie Rich, right? Young Rich, I'm using his beats.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows kind of what, and we've evolved, and that's why I like working with somebody that I know, like my personal friend, is
Right.
because we've evolved like the
Together,
Mac
basically.
and Young Rich sound.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like we have our own like distinct, and that's something I can really say. You know what I'm saying? Like we have our own like, nobody sound like the shit that we. You know what I'm saying? Like it's influence. Obviously, everybody get their influences from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But we make our own unique music. So he know a lot of type of like the style that I rap, and he know. You know what I'm saying? He know what I like and everything. So he'll send me beats. Before, when I was still living in Sac, we'd be in the studio every day, just sitting there, and I'll be like, "Hey, bro, like make it sound like this," and because I don't know I'm not a producer, you know what I'm saying, but I know what I want to hear.
Right.
I could hear it in my, you know what I'm saying. I hear it in my mind, and I'll be trying to tell him like, we used to crack up, be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, like twist it, you know what I'm saying, like make the knobs like this, and fucking, you know what I'm saying, like make that little wee woo sound go high, like, you know what I'm saying, because I'm trying to describe to him like in non-technical terms what I want the shit to sound like.
To put it into perspective, we oftentimes will critique each other's set, and we'll have input. A lot of the times, like I don't know the technical terms either, so I'll just be like, "Dude, be funnier."
Well, that's a tall order, man.
It's easier said than done, man. Shit.
Just do it better.
When have you ever seen it done like that?
So what I try to do is, so if I'm doing that, right, he'll send me beats, and I'll listen to, like he might send me 5 beats, right, and I'll sit there and I'll listen to all, you know what I'm saying, I'll go through them, and I'll kind of sit there, and sometimes it's like if we made the beat together, which is, well, since I've left Sac, it's different, but we'll get on Discord and shit and make beats together sometimes, but like when we make the beat together, 9 times out of 10, I'm already writing the verse while he's making the beat, because I know like we're making it with a specific purpose.
Right. Does that happen a lot?
I would say maybe 30% of the time, 35%. You know what I'm saying? Like less than half. Like when it's like I'm already done writing it by the time he's sending the beat to my email.
That's cool.
Does that become like? Is that what you want? Like, is that the
not always?
Okay,
not always. Sometimes, like it depends on, because sometimes I'll go in with a specific, like I'm trying to make a song with this particular sound, like with this, I got an idea already in mind. Sometimes we'll just be in there cooking, like we'll be in there just smoking for hours, bro, just like, because we both used to smoke cigarettes like that. Like we'll be, you know what I'm saying, smoke a cigarette, drink some coffee, because I used to work night shift at a gas station, and I get off at 6 a.m, and I'll go over there like 8 a.m. type shit, and we just be in there drinking coffee, smoking. You know,
so you would leave work
just trying to stay awake.
Yeah, well, it just being in that like real like creative mindset, like. And then we'll go up to the liquor store on the corner and start drinking and shit, and we just be in the studio like
9:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, man! Just
after working all night.
Yeah. on the flip side of that too, like on my days off and shit, like I'll be in there, like we'd be in the studio from 7 in the evening all the way till 4 in the morning.
Damn.
Type shit, just working on. And it's not like we're working on something entire, but like, you know what I'm saying, we'll be working on it, because a lot of it is just not throwing paint at a canvas, but like, so when I'm not going in with a specific plan, right, then we just go in, and you know what I'm saying, like we'll just throw some, like, okay, let's try this, or we'll find a sample that we like, you know what I'm saying, and we'll put that in there, and I say we, and he's the producer, he's making the beats, I'm just like, hey bro, like make it sound like this, or like the most I can do, like I can't play the piano, but I know how to like sound shit out.
Okay.
It's like the most I would actually do as far as just input is I might play a little drum loop, or I might try to do a little melody or something just because I hear something in my head.
Right.
And like we'll just be sometimes we'll be sitting there. He used FL Studio, so sometimes we'll just be sitting there listening to like the same 8-bar loop of like a little melody that we made, or sometimes it's not even a melody. Sometimes it's just a little drum loop or something, and we'll just be sitting there listening to it for like an hour, and then we'll be like, "Fuck, bro, this shit ain't working," and we'll play the game for a little bit. But it's just in the process of just being in that studio and just like, all right, we're not finna give up until we make something. You know what I'm saying?
Just like going and playing a game for a little bit instead just like removes you from like how close you are to it, and then when you come back to it too, I bet that helps you look at it.
It keeps you in that space too, because like you can't like just go from like you can't just segregate between like we're creative here, okay, we're playing a game, let's take another, like the creative process is there throughout it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not like
keeps you in that mindset of like I'm here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because we just be in the little, you know what I'm saying, the same space. It's not like we're going to a separate room or nothing. And like more often than not, it'll be like, hey, bro, pause the game. Like, let's go back to that beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to like
moment of inspiration.
But yeah, a lot of times it really is just like looking at it or listening to it with a fresh set of ears. Like,
right.
And because sometimes, and even like this, I get this with mixing too. Like, I fucking hate the sound of my voice. Like, not like, oh, like it sounds bad, but like I'll be sitting there trying to mix a song for like, I ain't gonna like 4 or 5 hours, bro. Just sitting there messing with,
I'm sure. Yeah, any voice
hi-hats, because I don't know how it is with pot. Like, obviously, you want it to sound crisp and everything, but with music, like.
Speaking of which, can you move the mic a little bit?
Yeah, my fault. Absolutely, bro. No.
What the fuck are we doing, folks?
Just, you know what I'm saying? Is that cool right there?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
All right, bet.
I didn't mean to derail you.
No. So just with music, like you trying to make it. It's not only making sure that your voice is coming through crisp and all that, it's making sure that they don't call it they call it mixing for a reason, right? You're mixing your voice with the beat. Like, you don't want your vocals to sound hella crisp and then the beat to sound good, but it's like it's not together.
Yeah.
And that took me a long time to learn. Like, you're not just making the vocals sound good, it's you're mixing it. Like, you want like everything to be, you want it to mesh together and be one sound.
Right.
You don't want them to hear the beat and then hear your voice. Like, you want them to hear the song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that comes with just,
it's like a whole new level to what that sounds like. Cause like for us, it doesn't really necessarily apply completely in that way, but for music, it's almost like every second is like intentional.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah. And I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody, but for me, when I write, like every word, there's no and I had to learn this over time, right? Like, but basically the goal is that you don't use any unnecessary syllables, no unnecessary words. Like, I try to take out any like ands and thes and like just any like extra
any fluff.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I'm assuming it's similar with jokes. Like, you don't want to have all this buildup. Like, you kind of want to you want to have the context, right? And then, but you want to have the main focus be on the punchline.
Yeah. We like our sets right now range from anywhere from 3 minutes to 10 minutes.
Okay.
10 minutes that's at least the way I look at it, that's like new material. Okay. Like a lot of times those places are like bar shows, for example. Like, you have a little bit more leeway. So
right. So how many jokes you'd be getting off in like 10 minutes? Like 4?
Well, it depends on my intention.
Okay.
So like a 3-minute set is pretty crisp at this point.
I can see that, yeah, because you basically only gonna do like 1 or 2 jokes.
Yeah, okay. You gotta hammer it.
Yeah. The 10 minutes is a lot more. Now it's become a focus on crowd work.
Okay.
Whereas previously, and I guess I still do this, it's a little bit more storytelling because you have that freedom of having more time. You can take the premise of the story and then try and listen back to it, edit it down to what's the actual material itself. What's like, I can go back in and listen. Okay, this doesn't need to be in there. That's just fluff.
Got you. So
Things
just kind
like
of see
that.
what they're reacting to more
Correct.
and what's like,
yeah, what's hitting.
What's I guess like not to be like, but like what's redundant.
Right.
Because I ain't gonna lie, because in music, like I'll go through and like not maybe in a song, but when I'm putting together an album, because some people, some artists, like they just put out like singles, or it might be an album, but it's just like a collection of songs.
Sure.
Like the type of music, because at the end of the day, like if not literally, but like in practice, you're gonna try to emulate what you gravitate towards, right?
Sure.
So the artists that I like, they make albums. Like the track order is important. Like each song, like the way that the songs flow into each other
throughout.
Absolutely, because like I said
right.
earlier, like it's like a movie, right? Like you're
Sure.
listening to a progression. And so like I've always tried to, like I'll drop a little single here and there if it's just something that I made and it doesn't necessarily fit with the project that I'm working on. But since I've started making music, I'm always working on a project, like an album. Like
Sure.
whether it be 6 songs or 15, 17, 18 songs, like it's something. And I've always been very concerned with track order and album covers. Like a lot of the album covers I draw myself and everything like that. But,
that's cool.
That's
awesome.
Like I appreciate that, man. I've always liked drawing. And I don't be doing nothing crazy, but you know what I'm saying, a little pencil, ballpoint pen, like just getting into, like I'll draw like whole, like let me just pull some, let me show y'all real quick. Like,
and so with that, like we have the luxury of real-time reactions. So like we know what's working.
Yeah.
And like even if we have to go in after the fact and listen to the recording or watch the video,
we're like over a period of time.
Right.
Yeah.
We still have that luxury of real-time feedback. How do you determine in a song that's not like actively being listened to by an audience, how do you determine
like a
or
feedback,
is
more
there
edits?
like a feedback? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess.
It's hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like sometimes
I can imagine.
like I've done one open mic, right?
Okay.
Probably should have done more. I ain't gonna lie. In Sacramento, just on some weird, on some like, it's they don't support as a city. Well, the people that live in the city support the local rappers. The city itself, like, okay, I'll put it to you like this. Do you guys know who Mozzie is? Okay, so
I do not.
He's Sacramento's biggest rapper.
Okay.
We ain't had a rapper, objectively speak, by numbers, and there's a whole argument, and we ain't get into that. But numbers wise, like he's the biggest commercial numbers like rapper that we've had to represent Sacramento. Like a lot of places have like their rap, you know what I'm saying? Like you got E40, like Atlanta, Bay Area. Atlanta has a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Sacramento never really had that. So we always had like the kind of like chip on the shoulder type shit. Like,
sure.
So a lot of people be like, oh, you from Sacramento? Like, you from the Bay? But it's like, no, we're 2 hours north of the Bay. Okay. We got like our whole different shit going on type shit, right? So they don't, like there was a point, and I don't know how it is now, but there was a point, like they couldn't do no shows in Sac. So like, that's our rapper. That's who we fuck with, but we can't even go see him because he got to go to LA to.
And LA's not that close, right?
Nah, LA's 8 hours, 9 hours with traffic away. Like I've been down there and type shit, but we don't.
But it's a haul.
Yeah, man. Like we go to the Bay a lot. Like we'll go to SF and you know what I'm saying.
But still, that's you were saying 2 hours.
Yeah, it's like a 2 hour drive, hour 45 type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Is it like booking people there that aren't interested in local people?
So what it is partly that.
How? Like,
So
I don't get that.
a lot of it is
No,
a lot of
no.
it just come down to like just violence and shit like that. Like this
Okay.
show, you know what I'm saying? Like the promoters be tripping off of like, okay, like because Sacramento got a lot of politics, which we'll just leave it at that. I'm not involved in none of that shit, and you know what I'm saying. But it do affect.
Although I would like to hear your stance on political issues.
When I talk
for
about,
the rest of
I'm
time.
talking about politics. I'm not talking about like government. I'm talking about like
within the thing.
people politics.
My point still stands.
Fair enough. We can get into that later. Fair enough. I'm down.
Section 3.
Yeah, we can do a whole nother topic about that. I like talking about that shit too. But
Cool.
But basically, just like it's not the best for the people. Like they'd rather have G-Eazy come perform or something. Like G-Eazy did a lot of shows at our smaller venues because for a long time we didn't have a big venue for, like, we had Arco Arena where the Kings perform, but that was in the county. That wasn't even in the city limits. Like you had to, like for people that live in Sac, you had to drive like maybe 30, 25 minutes to get to Arco Arena where the Sacramento Kings play. Yeah. Now they got the Golden One Arena, which is right in downtown. Have you been there, or I have not? I've seen it. Right,
we have
like
NBA
League.
Yeah, we have NBA League.
Yeah. I'm sure y'all seen that shit.
Dude, that was so cool.
I'll be trying to tell motherfuckers it's kind of a corny joke, but like since it's a comedy podcast, I'm gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Like,
let it fly.
I'll be trying to tell people.
Now she with her bitches and they all out having fun again. Brought them to the crib, now they surprised with people running. Bro was playing Star Fox, made him do a barrel roll. John Wayne.
Oh.
Griff, what do they call that in Rhode Island? The beam's cool though.
Y'all can cut that, but I just wanted to. That's some funny shit.
We
can. A little insider, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. I mean, we could. Do you want us to cut it? We could leave it unless you want us to cut it.
We'll cut this part out.
Yeah, okay, I'll cut that. But yeah, anyway, so what was we talking about?
Oh, dude, so the beam, the real beam, the Kings beam.
Yeah,
I remember when that like first started, everyone was like, the Kings haven't made the playoffs in like 20 years. Why are they doing this? And then they won a couple.
Then they draft Davion Mitchell.
No, this was like this year. This like just recently happened.
Man.
And then like they won
second year in the league.
They won 3 games in a row though, and everyone was chanting "Light the Beam." It immediately went from being a joke.
They say that shit
to
every fucking game, bro. They don't care, bro.
It went from being lame.
They just gonna geek out no matter what.
It's like now like immediately cool.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it went from a joke to being cool
overnight.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I don't really I don't keep up with basketball like that. Like I'm a Kings fan because that's where I'm from, but like I know they're doing good this year, but like are they actually like actually good?
They're like the 4th seed in the West. Yeah.
Okay.
I think they clinched the playoff spot or about to. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, man. But that's it. So that where Golden One Arena is now used to just be like used to be our downtown mall. It was like an open air mall, like we type shit when we were like 15,
Where do you
16.
go to shop now?
For real, bro. Because you can't go to Arden. Them motherfuckers, they just shoot your ass at Arden Mall, bro. That shit crazy.
Different beam.
Yeah, I ain't trying to go to Arden, bro. You know what I'm saying? That Arden Mall be on some weird shit. But we go to the Roseville Galleria. That's where you got to go.
Okay.
It's like 30 minutes outside.
Like I know what that is.
Roseville is basically a suburb of Sacramento.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So they got a big ass. That's where like because in Sacramento we don't got no designers. Like the best you gonna have is like the polo store. You know what I'm saying? Which is cool. Like but I'm saying like you try to go to the Gucci or Burberry or you trying to get any of that, you got to go out Roseville because motherfuckers like stealing. They ain't gonna have none of them stores in there. But yeah, so Golden One Arena. Once we got that, we got a lot of major artists coming to perform there. But before we really didn't. We had to go to the Bay Area, like San Francisco, to see a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Like the only really big like show that I saw in Sacramento at the Arco Arena was the America's Most Wanted tour with Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz and T.I.
Oh, that's cool.
That was back in like 2013 or something like that. Yeah. But that's a big show, but like that was like the only, like we didn't get a lot of major artists coming to Sac just because it wasn't it wasn't profitable on there.
Yeah.
You know, when they're looking at cities to go to, it's like, you know, they're looking at ticket sales. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're like, okay, we're gonna get way more people in SF. We're gonna get maybe 75% of the people from Sac coming down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you do a show,
they know that Sacramento is gonna come down.
Right.
It
whereas
make sense to
people from the Bay aren't necessarily gonna go up to Sac to come see a show, right?
Yeah.
So type shit like that, like. the overall I'm trying to think of the word for it, like the city. And when I say the city, not just the regular people,
like
but like the people, like the
people decide
people that
making those decisions.
Yeah, we'll say it like that. Like they are not as of fans of the rappers. Like,
okay,
they would rather have like indie bands and that kind of thing. So like I told you,
kind of create their own scene basically instead of like taking what's actually
which is
there.
fucked up because Mozzie bringing
real.
all this money to the city, he putting on artists, like bringing other people up.
Right.
They don't want to, like, they had like actual thing, like he wasn't allowed to do shows there because of just the politics and shit, like
insane.
Because you know what I'm saying, they worried about. But I don't know if y'all seen like in the news, like I think it was like 2 years ago or something like that, like that Tyler the Creator show, Golden One, and they had that shooting after the show type shit.
Damn, at a Tyler the Creator concert.
I was there.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like it was a Tyler the Creator and Kali Uchis concert, bro. And there's a shooting, and they trying to say it's a mass. It was no mass shooting, bro. It's because motherfuckers in SAC know they're gonna go to the concert and they're gonna see who they looking for at the concert. So that's why they be tripping about. So it's just not the best. Gotcha. They need to figure all that shit out. And because like I went to it, we done did that open mic shit. And they
was that in Sacramento?
Yeah. That's the only one I ever did. You know what I'm saying? But they allow open mics, or they allow rappers at the open mics. It's not because a lot of open mics like that I've looked up, like they'll be like only if you're playing an instrument or something, I mean, which is cool, but like, you know what I'm saying, it's not what I do. So it's just like, all right, bet. But even that show was like real, like when I got there, like I had a song in mind that I was gonna do, and I was like, I can't do this song here. Like my homie, my brother was telling me like, yeah, bro, you probably don't want to do that song. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I was talking about Plan B and all this shit, and then the shorty got up like right before me, did a spoken word about how like she lost the baby in the pregnancy phase.
Oh no, you got to double
like,
down.
I can't do this. I got a whole song about Plan B. I ain't finna do it.
It would have hit. It would have hit.
If someone did spoken word about Plan B right before one of us going up, you got to eviscerate them.
Yeah, that's coming up immediately.
Yeah. No, I feel you. In comedy, a little different. Like you're allowed to roast people. You know what I'm saying? But this venue was like, I was like, yeah, I can't do that song. So I didn't know. So it was good. I got you know what I'm saying? I got a decent response. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they was clapping for pretty much everybody.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Type shit. But it was cool. You know what I'm saying?
Whores.
I had some. Yeah,
way better than whores with clap. You don't want those.
Oh shit, my phone. I had one dude.
This is an interesting segue.
Kind of before before the show, I was out there kind of like going over, you know what I'm saying, rehearsing, for lack of a better word. And
this is gonna be a real. I thought you were gonna tell me that the guy had the clap and.
No,
I was excited.
And then
just pause on that whole shit. Anyway, he had he was like, hey, I guess heard me rapping or whatever. He was like, all right, you finna rap in there? I was like, yeah. He's like, are you good? And like, that's a crazy question to ask somebody. Like, are you good? Like, of course I'm good. Like, what the fuck? Why would I be here if I didn't think I was good? Type shit.
Yeah.
And then after I got off the stage and I you know what I'm saying, it was just one song. Everybody got to do one song or one piece, right? I had did my one song, and then I got off the stage and he was like, oh man, that shit was actually cool. Like I had a few people, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, that shit was dope, you know what I'm saying? But
right.
that's the only time I ever performed something, because like I said, like a lot of the open mics in SAC, like they'd be like, no rap, like they don't want that shit. Like,
I don't understand.
Dumb.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not subscribed to the Comedy Virgins podcast? What are you waiting for? Seriously?
Salute.
Yes, sir.
Sipping on that boom boo. You know what I'm saying? That good rum.
Is that the Japanese whiskey?
Nah, man, it's
Lil Wayne's rum.
Yeah, I seen Lil Wayne promoting that shit. So I seen that in y'all cabinet. I was like,
Lil Wayne's rum. We got that.
I don't
Dude,
think he
shout out Nick Mack.
Yeah, I don't know if he own it. I don't know if he own it or wait, who's Nick Mack?
That's my buddy. He
okay.
brought it. We were playing golf, and he brought it over.
Okay,
in
hell yeah.
the full bottle, and that was.
I ain't gonna lie, I never tried that shit before, but I seen Lil Wayne be promoting that shit.
It smells like bananas.
Oh, it's that bananas
Yeah,
whiskey.
yeah.
Fuck that,
God,
dude.
it's rum. It's rum.
Rum. Oh.
Yeah.
Dummy.
I'm not nice with
Oh no, I just that's I don't know about no banana whiskey. I don't know about that, but yeah, no, that shit cool.
Japanese whiskey.
Yeah,
right.
Suntory is one of the ones I was drinking. That shit. Good
Okay, yeah. No, yeah, for sure.
I just be going to the. I be wanting to say Bevmo because that's what we have in SAC, but it's out here. It's called Specs.
Sure, yeah. Yep.
Specs has
We're
everything.
a frequent flyer.
Because the liquor store by my house, they be taxing, bro. Like that shit
Really
way expensive. I'll be like, God damn, like they want like $25 for like the little Henny. I'm like, damn, bro, I can't be like I'm gonna kill that tomorrow. Like, come on, man. Like, ain't gonna do me. They ain't gonna do the trick.
Yeah, we've got a little. I guess it's a full-on liquor store, like right across the street. And
talking about
and
little bro
thing.
that was down the way, like the little parking lot with the little,
yes,
man,
right next to the donut
there?
shop.
Yeah, that motherfucker,
yep.
he look like he be selling shit out the back of the store or something.
I don't want to blow up his spot.
No,
but
He's got a good spot.
That shit crazy as hell. It remind me of there was this little look. My bunch of my homies went to Chico State. Have you ever heard of that?
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's a big party school. They just went there to party. You know what I'm saying? I ain't cut that. You know
Is that in Cali?
Anyway. Wait, what's up?
Is that in Cali?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like an hour and a half north of Sac. So it's kind of it's a college town. Like it ain't too many people there, other than like the original residents, and then kids going to college, and then homeless people. Because I don't know if y'all know, like California got a real big homeless.
We've heard rumblings.
It's
LA and like some areas
it's
for
more
sure,
than
yeah.
it's more than a rumbling, bro. It's
Really?
yeah, man. Because of the zoning laws, like the way that certain areas of California work is like there's something called an abandoned persons law, which is when somebody get out the hospital or the mental institution or something like that, you can't just drop them off somewhere. You have to give them to somebody. Like they have to be entered into somebody's like
care.
You know what I'm saying?
Some
Like,
sort of program.
like you can't just drop them off on the side of the street.
Say good luck.
In California, in certain areas of California, they don't have those laws. So motherfuckers be putting homeless people straight out of the mental institutions. They put them on a bus and they drop them off in Sacramento or San Francisco type shit like that. So it's just like,
oh shit.
Because I used to work at a gas station. And that's how I learned all this shit was because I just be chopping it up with the people that come through. And I'm like, man, because I be seeing different people every day. And I'm like, man, where y'all come from? From Stockton, from all the way from Southern California, up from Oregon. Like they just
damn.
Yeah, man. It's like a
hub.
Yeah, like damn near type shit. Like, and under the freeways, they be having like little tent cities, and this is my favorite shit. I ain't gonna lie, they be making fake addresses so they can order Uber Eats and shit. Like they'll be having like they have little cardboard signs like 1025 under the freeway type shit. Like they be
under the freeway road.
Well, if I'm an Uber Eats driver, I'm not doing that delivery. There's no way.
I don't know about that one. That was a little sketchy, you know what I'm saying? But and then the police come and they take them out. They're like, basically, Sacramento got all the major freeways run through Sacramento.
Okay.
So we get a little piece of everything. You know what I'm saying? Good and bad.
Yeah.
Because everything going through there. So you get a lot of like transients, like people on their way to somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, and the gas station I worked at was right off of the freeway. So I just got to interact with a lot of different like people coming up from Mexico, like all kind of people coming down from up north, like so it's very interesting. But yeah, one thing that I learned from that is like they really be like people get out of the mental hospital and whatnot, and they don't have anywhere to go. They'll just drop them off on the
just say good luck.
All right, yeah, good luck.
That's insane.
You know what I'm saying? And what's fucked up is like people will try to be like, oh, well, like we have all these like shelters and places for people to go, but like you try like they be like, oh, you can't have no paraphernalia on you, like if you high you can't come to the homeless shelter. It's like, bro, how you gonna tell a heroin addict like that takes some time, bro? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's not like you can't be like, hey bro, like you can come stay here, but and I don't know the solution to it, you know what I'm saying? But it's a big problem out there for sure.
Right.
Like they gotta do something, and it can't just be you can only stay here if you clean. Like there has to be some kind of rehab. Not rehab.
There's a missing piece there somewhere.
Yeah, man. And I ain't gonna lie, like some of the people, they don't care, bro. They'd rather be out there in the streets.
Right.
They just, you know what I'm saying? That's how they feel. And that's what it is. But I ain't gonna like, I've seen like maybe you could say like maybe 10, 15%. I've seen like in the time, because I worked there for some years, like while I was doing my electrical school and whatnot, and just different, you know what I'm saying? I had a couple other jobs during that time, but it was a little part-time shit. I was like, all right, bet. But they during the time that I worked there, I met like from when I started and then when I quit, there was a good amount, like maybe a handful of people that was homeless, or you know what I'm saying, they down on their luck, that actually they'll come back and tell me, because I'll try to help them out and shit, you know what I'm saying, type shit, give them food and cigarettes and whatnot. And but they'll come back and tell me like, hey bro, I got a job, I got an apartment, you know what I'm saying, they doing better for themselves. But that is a small percentage of them. Like a lot of people, it's either mental illness or they just strung out on drugs by their own choosing type shit. So I don't like all that shit where they be like, nah, we're gonna hand out clean needles, because like, why y'all giving them folks like, it's like they trying to do it based on like, oh, it's a health thing, but it's like, I don't know, bro.
It's also
They're still just gonna be used multiple times anyway.
Like you enabling it. Yeah, you enabling this shit. You just giving out, you know what I'm saying? But there's people that can't go get like the operation that they need.
Focusing on the wrong.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We giving out needles and shit. Yeah, but we can't, like, you know what I'm saying? There's like,
but also an ambulance is, $10,000.
Exactly, bro.
Like,
and then in Sacramento, we got all these little lots that's like just open. Like we the city of trees. Like we had a little inside joke. It's like we the city of fields, because we got all these open lots that just end up being like these tent cities. Because it's like the bank owns it or something, or the house got foreclosed and they tore it down or something like that. And it just ended up being a bunch of tents and like a little shanty town damn near.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, y'all could build a shelter or do something, you know what I'm saying? Or do some, or
a little bit
build
more
a little drug program or something for these people. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, because what they do is the police just come in and kick them out of the spot, and they just
go next door.
Yeah. They just move from place to place. And it's like, it ain't like, okay, like, it's not like, oh, we feel bad. Like, I don't know, at a certain point, like, because like I said, a lot of people is out there of their own decision making. You know what I'm saying? Like
similar to your point earlier of like, you can't get mad at, or we would call someone dumb for having an opportunity and not taking it.
Yeah.
Like at some point you need to,
as a person,
take some accountability.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
And everybody go through bad luck and bad
of course,
and like that. But it's like, like I you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, like there's people
gotta be accountable at some point.
There's people out there that's younger than us, man, in Cali. Like they real young, and they out there because, you know what I'm saying, it's not like they don't have parents or a support system of any kind, but they you know what I'm saying, they'd rather be, you know what I'm saying, doing oxy and shit. And,
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's
take you out of that environment, at least like mentally.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell them not to, you know what I'm saying, go
Fair enough.
Yell at the fucking traffic light.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As long as they ain't fucking with nobody kids or nothing. But it is a big, you know what I'm saying? It is a big problem out there for sure. Like compared to out here, like obviously, you know what I'm saying, you might have like one or two homeless people on the corner. Like out there, it's like, it's everywhere, bro.
Really?
Yeah, it's like 10 cities.
Austin was like that for a while. I don't know.
I don't really even have like, they're like putting them in hotels, I think. And then like
COVID and throughout COVID, it was like, especially throughout COVID, it was because it was traveling. Like,
it's still like some sort of problem though, because like you hear comics that go there and do.
And fuck you, man. Action. All right.
It's been a running joke amongst myself.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I get to like do editing on the video, and I have my headphones in, and then I just hear like a big burp.
Y'all know Anthony Fantano, Needle Drop, the music reviewer guy.
I do not.
Huh? Oh, he like this.
We're gonna start looking up these guys.
He's like, I don't know. He pretty man. He's like a real big music reviewer on YouTube. Like he's probably the
really
like the biggest, as far as I know. Anyway.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw a little music knowledge at you.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah, it might be.
Yeah.
Do you know they're from San Francisco?
Okay.
The Black Jews.
The Black Jews.
Somehow I am related to them. I think they're my mom's cousin's kids. Shout out the Black Jews.
All right.
They're from San Francisco.
No, I haven't heard I've heard of
We're gonna have to
What have
confirm
you
that's
heard
a
of?
real thing.
What have you heard of,
Heard of
Mac?
Black Jews, but I haven't heard of the group.
The Black Jews?
Yeah, that's.
They're like
so,
the Ohio
are they-
State
are they-
University of
Yeah. So are they on
Jewish
some-
people who are also
Be very
African
careful how I
American.
talk about. You know what I'm saying? Are they like on some?
Are they a music group?
yes.
No, but like, are they talking about like? Are they on some like?
I have
some
no
public
idea.
enemy type shit?
I
Like,
do not know.
They,
Somehow I'm
I mean, I
related
would
to them.
assume with a name
I
like
have-
the Black Jews, they're
Pretty vocal.
probably pretty politically.
I have not
In
listened to their
line.
stuff, but somehow we are related.
It sound like some Most Def type shit. I could get.
Well,
down with
good
that.
for you, man.
Thanks, man.
That's what's up. I'm
I
gonna
got
look them up.
some culture behind these
That's
bones.
your, so you got people out in the Bay Area?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
my mom's cousins.
Okay.
They're in Marin County.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been there before. That's beautiful out there. Have you gone to visit?
I
them
have
or
not,
shit?
no.
Okay, man, you gotta get out there. One
I
time.
agree.
We gotta have him on the
Yeah.
podcast.
It's big. Hey man,
That would actually be kinda cool.
Y'all
Yeah.
either gonna go viral or get canceled. One of the two, man.
I think you have to do
what's-
both to make it.
Hey, man.
But going back to the homeless problem, I heard an interesting point. Like they had all these institutions for people with like schizophrenia or like
Right.
bad mental diseases that were
Mhm.
like really inhibiting them, or if that's not the right word, I don't know what is. But there was like abuses that happened in cases
Absolutely.
during that, so they like shut a lot of those down. But it seems like they didn't really come up with a solution to take place of that. They're just like, all right, you're
No.
homeless now. You're not
Yeah.
in this facility. You're just like, I don't know, figure it out.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of just as many people that you could say, oh, they're just out there because they just want to be, or they're just lazy, or whatever the case may be. Because that is a reality. Like, don't like people be getting it twisted. Like, oh, they're all everybody's a victim type shit. Like, there's a lot of people who just don't want it. They would rather get by doing whatever the case may be than get a job at the McDonald's. And I can't.
You can't fault that if that's what they want.
It's like
I guess
that's your
yeah.
personal. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody got to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I had a job at the fucking Jamba Juice before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. But some people feel like whether it's pride or just whatever their circumstances is, right? Like they don't want that ain't an option for them, right? So you know what I'm saying? I can't knock nobody for it, right? So because at the end of the day, like you gotta feel comfortable with yourself as a man. You know what I'm saying? Whatever job you're doing, right? Like you can't feel like, oh, like I'm sacrificing some of my integrity just to earn a living. Because at that point, you fucking prostitute. Like that's basically what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great point.
So you gotta be able to, you know what I'm saying, like feel good about how you earn your living at the end of the day. So but yeah, man, it's a lot of people out there that, you know what I'm saying, they think little Timmy in the bushes trying to get them. Like I'm not even making that shit up, bro. Like it's real, like and it'd be sad too, because you'd be like, damn, like what the fuck am I supposed to do about this shit? You know what I'm saying? Like you can help them out, give them a couple dollars or something, but
at the end of the day, that's not gonna
problem.
right.
Like, yeah, man, and
It's
it'd be a lot of older,
problem.
yeah, exactly. Like just as many like young people, it's a lot of older people too, like Vietnam veterans and a lot of shit like that, like where they just you know what I'm saying, they got PTSD and probably, you know what I'm saying,
substance abuse of some
type,
sort,
some type of schizophrenia, and they probably doing some type of drugs, you know what I'm saying, to deal with that shit, try to cope with that shit, because you know what I mean, that shit crazy as fuck. I ain't in the military, you know what I'm saying, I ain't never dealt with that shit before, so you know what I'm saying,
different animal.
You don't know what them people going through, but at the same time, like if they're so tweaked the fuck out that they're violent, like you can't have them on the corner and you trying to take your kids to the store to get a candy bar and they're gonna try to, you know what I'm saying, stab you or rob you with your kids and something. Like you don't want that. So it's like it's a difficult there's not one solution to it.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you can't just.
Yeah, there can't be.
You see some people who have the opinion of, oh well, like we should just arrest them and they should just go to jail. Well, it's like, okay, well then you're gonna be charging the taxpayers to have all these people who really are not criminals. They're just victims or not necessarily victims, but they've
found themselves in a bad
they're a product of a certain circumstance, right. Whether it be their, you know what I'm saying.
And then they like continue that in jail, and then they're out at some point, and it continues there. So because it's not helping them being in jail either, they're not like solving a problem.
Exactly, it's not going to solve nothing. It's just you're going to charge the taxpayers more while they doing a 6 month for public intoxication or something like that. Because it's not like they're really doing nothing major. Like they're not doing a Fed time type shit. Like it's just little petty shit. Like, oh, he has some meth on him or something. Like I ain't gonna lie. I had one dude come up to me, right? Because we had the little patio area and I worked night shift. So I was out there, you know what I'm saying, smoking my cigarette and whatnot. And he came up to me with the belt, like already on the arm type shit. Like, hey, bro, is it cool if I'm like, if you gonna take your ass to the fucking alleyway, bro, you gonna get me in trouble, man. The police gonna think I'm selling this shit out the store and type shit.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Holy shit.
I walked outside one time, dude, hitting the meth pipe, blowing big meth clouds. I'm like,
God,
are the meth clouds pretty big?
Yeah, because they be hitting that shit off the little glass pipe and shit.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? That shit. I don't want to breathe that shit in,
the glass pipe one.
I'm just trying to smoke a cig.
Yeah, I'm just trying to smoke my Newports and go back inside, bro. Like, you tripping, bro. Like, yeah, that should be fucked up, man. But yeah, it's a problem out there for sure. But I don't know, man. I don't know how they're gonna solve it.
That's a wild job too. Like
run into all types of people.
Yeah.
People in all situations.
It was cool though, man. I had people coming through, they open up their trunk, they got pounds of weed and shit, like fresh trim from up north type shit, like still on the branch. Like they just, hey, bro, like
the organic shit, like a farmer's market.
I don't know about that.
Out of my trunk.
They got that shit in Cali though, for real. I'll be trying to tell people like we used to go to like they have flea markets for weed. Like you go out there and like it's just hella different like vendors. Like people come from Humboldt and everywhere, bro. And they just,
really,
you know what I'm saying, pounds on the table type shit. Like you just go in there and this is cool. Like I'll take some of that. Like
Fort Worth is supposedly, I think they're voting on it right now. I don't know if it's taken effect yet, but decriminalize it up to 4 ounces.
I heard that. I was talking to my boy at the smoke shop the other day. He told me that same thing. He said basically the whole DFW area, and I don't know if it's a state thing or
I know right now it's within city limits of Fort Worth.
Okay.
Is that similar to what Austin's doing, basically?
I think so.
Fair enough, but yeah, they said up to 4 ounces, which is interesting. Like the whole like just being from Cali, like we went through the whole like kind of just the same process just earlier.
Yeah. Much earlier.
We had the whole medicinal thing. Like I went through the process. I went and got my med card and everything. And
really,
yeah, I was going to this. But I went in there and told that motherfucker I had back pain from playing sports in high school. And, okay. Yeah, man, you just going. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be like, you can't like make a joke out of it because that's his job. But at the end of the day, like you don't really got. I can't sleep. Like, everybody was getting it. If you wanted a med card, you could get one.
What happens if you can't sleep and you have back pain from high school sports? Like what do they give you at that point?
I mean, you just need to smoke more, bro.
For Cali, how do you think it's changed or improved with weed being legal there? Because like that's a big conversation, especially from our home state. Because that's
where y'all from?
Connecticut. So it's like just recently like following that trend with other like Massachusetts and like they're putting dispensaries up and
Jersey got legal.
Jersey was pretty early, I think.
Jersey got wrecked, but because Pennsylvania, because I went to my homie lived in Philly and we went out there last summer and we had to go to Jersey to the recreational.
Yeah. Jersey was
because it's not legal in New York yet either.
Jersey's kind of weird.
Is it not now? I thought it was.
No, we was out there, bro. Them motherfuckers they still selling pre-rolls on the we was in Times Square. They selling pre-rolls on the corner. And the police right across. That's the first time I've ever been to the East Coast ever, bro.
I don't know if it's decriminalized. I think it might be decriminalized.
It might be some type shit like that.
But I don't think they can
you
sell
just get
it.
a misdemeanor. You still get a felony if you selling that shit. But like if you just get caught with it, it's just a misdemeanor.
I do not know because like every time I've been to New York, I mean an hour and 20 minutes on a train ride from where we are in Connecticut.
Okay, fair enough.
It's
fair
close.
Enough. Yeah, it was like an hour and a half from Philly.
Yeah. Every time I've been there, I mean, like the entire city smells like weed.
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Same with Boston.
I didn't see. Man,
Boston. Well, Boston is now.
Oh yeah, now they're
Y'all
a step ahead.
Y'all gotta go
Right.
to Cali, bro. That shit crazy.
But do you think like
I'm trying to tell you, man.
that basically with the restrictions that we've had in place
Yeah.
between weed and other things, that's basically created the niche for cartels to be able to have that much influence because they are like the main source.
The need is still
Absolutely.
there.
I mean, anytime you make something illegal, you're gonna have.
Doesn't mean it just goes
quote
away.
Unquote, like black market for it.
Sure.
Because the people are still gonna want it. Like you said, it's still gonna be a need for it. Anytime there's a demand for it, oh, okay, bet. Somebody gonna make some money off it. Yeah,
See a need,
it's
fill
the
a
same
need.
thing that happened like when I was in high school. I was hella into like the little prohibition shit for a little bit. Like I kind of researched all that, like Al Capone and all that type shit.
I
like,
love a good
you remember
speakeasy.
Untouchables and
Sure.
shit like that.
Yeah.
Like Elliot Ness and all
Yeah.
that. Like it's crazy because you look at it like it's the same. You see the same patterns. You know what I'm
And
saying?
alcohol's not that different.
No, it really not. Like
We got to be careful.
Alcohol-
Mad is gonna get us.
Man,
Mothers against drunk driving.
We're not
They're gonna be
supporting
pissed.
drunk driving, obviously.
Of course not.
Of course
man.
But so
You gotta get home. Man. Hey, one of my favorite Bill Burr jokes is
dude,
he talking about what he said. He said I'm probably butchered, but he said something about like I'm responsible. Like I drove my car here. God damn it, I'm gonna drive it home. Like, I'm not gonna burden this place of business, but leaving my car in their parking
Undue
lot.
parking.
Like, yeah.
dude, it's such a good bit. And then he's like, when you're going to get your keys, everyone's grabbing at you like you're the Beatles. No autographs.
But shit. What was it? Oh, how the legalization changed shit, bro.
Yeah, before and
changed
after.
That shit,
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit fucked shit up, bro.
Really?
I was pissed, man. I told people not to vote for that shit. I mean, it's cool as far as
The ability,
people
basically.
getting out of jail and not having people getting these crazy sentences for weed. That part I like. The side effects, we'll call it, of making that shit legal was because right before they made that shit legal, they went through and arrested all the major growers and all the major.
Really?
Yeah, they went through. They
Took advantage
it
of
took
the
everybody.
timing.
It took them all out because that's your competition. If you look at it as a government, from a state perspective, if you finna start selling weed and it's gonna be legal and you taxing it, you making all this money off of it, you don't want all these motherfuckers with better product than you, still for a cheaper price.
Damn, that's how it's different than alcohol then, because like alcohol,
Yeah.
they never do. It would never be government sponsored alcohol. You have
Right.
like different companies creating it, and
It's
so
not-
they want to
it's
be
not a-
the
it's not a free
one
market.
supplier.
It's not a free market.
Yeah,
Yeah, they went through it.
That's
They
a problem.
arrested all the.
Well, so it's not like you can correct because you're from there. You've lived it, but it's not like a state sponsored drug. Technically, like this, like you can't go into a California weed dispensary like the CAWD and like
I mean,
buy,
yeah, it's
so it's still like mom and pop.
It's a company,
more or
but
less,
at the end
but,
of
like,
the day, like they
but like
they have to
pick
be
and choose-
certified, basically.
Correct.
They
So like you're still
paying
certified, but you're still answering to the state as far as like monetarily, but like you're still like an independent.
you are, but
like,
you
small
got
business.
laws about the percentages of THC
Yeah,
you can have.
That's what I've.
You got
it's
laws
a
about how much you
nightmare
got to
get a license to
charge.
sell.
Yeah, man, you got how much like quantities you could sell. Like they and trust me, bro, they would not have legalized it if they wasn't making.
So
it.
in that
That's
sense,
kinda-
it
that's
almost
fucked up.
becomes a state spot because they're
Yeah, bro.
not picking and choosing. but
And
they're
trust
making
me, bro,
the
they
requirements
promote-
so stringent.
If you look at what products they promote, they not promoting how we smoke. You know what I'm saying? They promoting middle-aged soccer moms, like, oh, take these CBD gummy bears, deal with your kids better, type shit. Like they,
Oh, but a good soccer mom.
I don't hate that.
you feel me though? Like they know they.
Could you imagine if that soccer mom had 2 cigs behind her ears? Twostoag. Twostoag might have found his shorty.
Hey man. I'm saying I ain't never.
Plus, she's got a small business.
The oldest bitch I fuck with was like, I was like 22. She was like 28. That's the biggest age difference.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't never fucked with no like older bitch
Sure.
like that.
She got to be a young soccer mom.
No, it ain't like I'm against. I'm not against it. It just ain't.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
just
I'm
been
saying?
your
Y'all
experience.
ever fuck with like an older bitch?
Not officially.
No,
No.
I'm not on the record.
Been making eyes, but
Oh, what about you, bro?
I've been making eyes. Not much further than that.
What's the biggest age difference? Like as far as like a bitch that was older than
Like
you?
4 years older than me.
mine's been
Yeah.
2.
2?
2
Okay,
years.
so yeah, it was like a 6-year difference. I ain't gonna. It wasn't like crazy. Like I didn't notice no crazy differences. Like we was pretty much on the same type shit, but there was a couple things. You know what I'm saying? Like you kind of noticed, like you know what I'm saying. Like she already had kids and shit like that.
Oh shit! Okay.
And then they like, I don't know, women in like their late 20s want different things than women in their earlier 20s.
Yeah, fair enough. Like I was 22, she was 28.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Type shit. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, Tuesday, you know what I'm saying? On Tuesday night, you're like, damn, where are your kids? But hey, man, ain't my problem. You know
I don't
what I'm saying?
hate it, but like,
Hey,
where are they?
man, it ain't my problem. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, like the quality of the trees definitely went down after they legalized it. Like as far as going to the dispensaries, like I ain't gonna lie, like I've maybe been to a like before recreational was legal, it was cool.
Yeah.
Like you like I said, you could get your med. I got my med card when I was like 15, 16, something like that.
Really?
Yeah, I went in there. Or no. I'm lying. Because you had to be
18 maybe?
Yeah, you had to be like 17 going on 18 or something like that. Yeah, I'm lying. My fault. My homie had the med card. He used to go to the clubs for us. Once you turn 18, you could get that shit. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, you had to be 18 for sure. But once you got that shit, you could go to any club and you could show them the med card. And it was basically like the growers were just, they would sell, you know, half of their product or whatever to the dispensaries, and then half of it would go to wherever else, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you were
distribution,
right? You were getting the same, like it wasn't a big disparity of quality as far as like when you go to the dispensary and shit. So it was more of a like, okay, we'll just go here for the convenience of it,
right?
Yeah.
But once they made it legal, there were a lot. I mean, because as y'all,
So the med card might be
I'm
a
sure-
sweet spot.
so I'm sure y'all could guess. Well, but now it's that shit all fucked up. But I'm saying like before, like I'm sure y'all could guess. Like when it was just medical, like there was a lot of like it was cash only. It was,
And then that would be a lot of problems there, because then all these places that have like a ton of cash on hand,
it was dispensaries getting
Dude,
robbed.
yeah,
there's
it was
stories of,
under
like,
it was under
because
report.
ridiculous
Yeah.
amounts
Debit
of money
card,
just
credit
getting
Oh
card
yeah, just disappearing. It was under
because
report.
you can't just put that in a car
Yeah.
and transport. Like you gotta like
That's
hire.
dangerous amount.
You gotta
of money.
hire. You gotta hire Loomis and them. Motherfuckers,
Yeah,
man, you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Loomis
Exactly.
pulling up.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so it was very interesting to see.
If you're not subscribed to the Comedy Virgins podcast, I swear to goodness gracious, I'll kiss you or something, because I'm a pretty lady.
We're back.
Back.
So we were talking about dispensaries a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you think like the price of dispensaries would also stop people from necessarily going there, maybe finding like a drug dealer or somebody instead? Because like they upcharge a lot on that shit.
Absolutely. So when the government, when they introduced the recreational, they put like a certain amount of tax on it. Like when it was medical, it was just straight across. But then when it became rec, they had to put a certain amount, like they had to tax it. And that shit started getting ridiculous. Like you would pay like $60 for an eighth, you know what I'm saying? Like with
Yeah.
like plus tax type shit like that shit.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And they started regulating the THC percentage in a lot of the strains, and it just got, I don't know, it got weird, bro. Like you would go to the club and it would be like the same or not even the same. Like it'd be worse than the shit that you was getting from, you know what I'm saying, bro down the street. Like it's like, come on, man. Like why I'm paying extra like for y'all shit. And then what's crazy is I know we had started talking. We was talking about the little bags and shit. Like they would get like these little. Have y'all seen like the real colorful, like they be naming it after like Jimmy Neutron shit and like all kind of
all the
crazy
creative
ass-
names.
yeah, like they be having them crazy ass bags and shit, and they put like this like reflective foil on the inside of the bags so the shit look shinier when you open it up. Like the trichomes look better and everything. Like when you look in the bag, but if you put that same shit in like a regular sandwich bag, like old school type shit,
Sure,
it ain't gonna look that good.
right.
So they started doing all kinds of shit, and they got sprays that they spray that shit with to make it look shinier. And
Damn.
yeah, man, that shit just fucked
And then
up,
you're
bro. Like
inhaling that and like
yeah, you inhaling the chemicals,
Delicious.
and you're not even getting that high, and you smoke
Right.
it. Yeah, man, that shit wasn't cool, man. I like the fact that you not like you're not gonna get as much legal trouble, and it was definitely good for the people
like,
that was
like
already
peace of mind and
yeah, it was definitely good for the people that was already, you know what I'm saying, in some type of legal trouble for it, you know what I'm saying, like getting their sentences commuted and not doing as much time for that shit. But just as far as the quality of what you were getting, it definitely deteriorated when that shit became recreational for sure.
damn, definitely sounds like medical is the sweet spot there.
But even now, like
Is that the same spot that you buy from?
it's the
though?
same, it'd be the
Yeah.
same place. Like even you got a medical or a recreational card, like the only difference really be like,
But they're not gonna just like spray for like a medical card. They're not gonna like go out of the way to put it in like reflective baggies and
no,
like,
it'd be the
and-
same shit, bro.
Really?
Same
Yeah,
supply.
because the medical and the recreational people, they go to the same.
So they're trying to dress it up though.
Mhm.
What
They go to the
fuck?
same places. They go to the same dispensaries. Whether you have a recreational card or a medical card.
Well, that's now.
And they're
but,
still
like,
just trying to
if
sell it,
medical is
no
the
matter what.
only option, though, I feel like they wouldn't go out of their way.
Yeah.
So, like pre-complete
right,
legalization,
absolutely,
like,
yeah.
It sounds like that might be the best case scenario.
Yeah,
for
it was
state.
cool, man, because you could get a card and you could just go and you kind of supplement whatever else you were getting with like you could get like a cheap, like we used to go get these little $50 halves, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it would be some cool, it wasn't no crazy shit, but it was cool, it was smokable, you know what I'm saying? You get by until you go back to, you know what I'm saying, whoever you was supposed to be getting it from in the first place, you know what I'm saying? So and they don't get me wrong, like they would always have some good shit, but like for me, like the clubs and the dispensaries, they like it was always you're paying more for the convenience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
I get that. Yeah.
yeah.
What drew you to coming out to DFW area as opposed to staying in Sacramento?
The job market, like the COVID.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, the COVID shit had because I ain't, you know what I'm saying, I'm not making enough money to support myself off of music yet. So the job market kind of like it was real bad because of COVID and everything. Like they had people like they were a lot of the companies were like letting people go and they weren't trying to, you know what I'm saying, bring on more people. And I got a good amount of family not in the DFW area necessarily, but in Texas in general.
Close enough.
Yeah, got a lot of family and shit. So, and then my brother and them, him and his family, they was coming out here, and they was like, "Hey, we finna move out." You know what I'm saying? Go back to Texas, like, cause they were originally from Fort Worth.
Okay.
And they was like, "Hey, yeah, you trying to come out here with us? Like, there's a lot of work. They're doing a lot of construction type shit.
Sure.
Like, cause we've been doing electrical work." And he was like, "Hey, you trying to come out here with us?" I'm like, "All right." You know what I'm saying? I'm not really doing much. Like, I was kind of trying to take a break from Sacramento for some other reasons and shit. So I was like, "All right, you know what I'm saying? Let me come out here and see what's up." Like, get down with a new place and
for sure.
And it's been really cool, man. It's been kind of like a new perspective and just meeting different kinds of people and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's been real cool, man. Like I like it out here for sure.
It's definitely a cool area. I mean,
so fun.
Yeah, compared to living at home with
Connecticut,
mom and pop.
Connecticut is just like we hear a lot of people talking.
Careful.
There's so many comedians like Joe Rogan, Tom Segura, Shane Gillis. They're all like, yeah, Connecticut's the state in the country. It's so boring. And we'd grow up and like we're on the shoreline, which is a nicer area.
Okay.
One of the nicer
graduated
areas.
with 70 kids in our high school class.
Oh damn.
Yeah, very small school.
Super small.
See, my to put it in perspective, like my graduating class was like 700.
Oh my god.
That's the entire town.
This thing for me was like I went to a Catholic school for middle school, and like I had 14 people in my grade from kindergarten to 8th grade, like the same people. Going to school in Westbrook, a public school, I was like, oh my god, we have 70 people.
That's insane.
It was like going from like
it's a big city.
Still small as fuck. But
dude, they have a subway.
But we'd be like
a light.
We'd be hanging out in I don't know in the winter in Connecticut. It's like the most boring because there's nothing to do. It's cold out.
And
can't go to the beach.
Snowing hella and shit.
Does it what?
It snows.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'd be I don't know 5 months out of the year being like there's nothing to do.
We're a mile from the beach. You can't use it.
Yeah.
So we basically have like a movie theater. The bowling alley closed pretty early.
It did, didn't it?
Like not like time wise. It just like
down.
We were 13 and then it went out of business.
Okay.
Didn't give us the time to give them money.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. So DFW area, like there's so much going on all the time.
Yeah,
we got like 3 different bowling spots in a 10-mile radius.
There's a lot of shit.
Count it. But how long have you been here? Since COVID, like two and a half
years. I got here May of 21.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
so
gotcha.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah. Damn. That means I've been graduated for almost 2 years.
Me too, man. How'd we do it? Nobody knows. Shout out Eastern Connecticut.
There you go.
Jeez. Comedy wise.
Yeah.
Switching gears a little bit. I feel like there's a lot of intersects between comedy and music and specifically rap. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I know we've talked off camera about comedy and things like that, but any who's your favorite?
My favorite all time, Cat Williams.
Okay.
Absolutely, man. I remember that first Pimp Chronicles special.
He's hilarious. You know, he's got the flow too.
Yeah, man. Like I there's so many, like more than I could even they like count, like different little one-liners and bits and just little pieces from not only that special, but just Cat Williams in general that me and my homies back home that we just have become like little quotes like that we just use for different scenarios and stuff. Like it's such an integral part of like how we communicate and everything like that, like how his comedy and I think that's just what like we related to the most growing up.
Sure.
It was like on the, you know what I'm saying, like the bit where you talking about like the military chopper going by his balcony and it fucking up his breakfast blunt and shit. Like, somebody fuck up your breakfast blunt, like that's
fucked up.
Yeah,
can't
man.
be doing that.
Can't be doing that.
That's the worst of it, man. Like, so it's just it was very relatable for us growing up.
Sure.
Type shit. And then I mean Dave Chappelle for sure. I mean that's a big name. But I mean, right now, like as far as like current, because I mean, Cat Williams, I think he put out a special maybe like, what was it, 2 years ago or something like that?
Yeah, something on Netflix. Yeah.
But as far as like somebody that's really active and putting shit out weekly is Tim Dillon is probably my favorite.
Tim Dillon
for sure. Yeah.
He's so good.
Oh my gosh.
I ain't listened to the new one because I know he put some out like yesterday.
I don't know.
Because he be dropping his podcast like every week.
Okay,
Type shit. Yeah. So I
Tim Dillon show
every day. Yeah, Tim. Yeah.
He started comedy late too. He started when he was 40.
He was like a mortgage broker.
No
before
shit.
that.
Okay. Yeah. He was part of the 2008 crash.
Yeah,
he was selling those.
That was all him.
Yeah.
He was responsible.
Yeah, I heard him talk about that shit a couple times. Yeah.
Selling subprime mortgages.
Yeah. He funny as fuck, man. I fuck with bro.
Yeah, crashing the economy. It's so funny.
Good for what power can one man have? It's funny though, because like going back to the overall point, I heard Dave Chappelle one time say that like rapping and comedy is so similar that every rapper thinks that they're funny and every comedian thinks they can rap, aside from us, obviously.
We know for a fact.
We cannot.
Yeah.
Well, similar, like you're like don't reacting to like the flow and like trying to set it up a certain way and like elicit response. Whether it's
like even if those things don't go hand in hand, like exactly, and they mesh together as well as Dave says.
Shout out Dave Chappelle.
Like for those comedians who don't think they can rap, there's an appreciation. Like I absolutely love rap and like rap music. The entire scene around it is so cool. I feel like there's probably a mutual kind of appreciation going both ways. Like maybe not every rapper thinks they can do stand up, but like there's an appreciation of like we both understand each other's crafts.
It's show business at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. You trying to do a performative art for an audience,
right? Yeah,
absolutely.
And kind of at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Like,
I think there's depending on the artist, right? There's a varying degrees of comedy in music too. Like certain punchlines, you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be kind of funny type shit like that.
Crowd interactions in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we feel like, I'll speak specifically to me. I feel like I can't rap, but a big premise that I'm working on is rhyming.
Okay.
Rhyming. There's a bit that I'm working on of like explaining the intricacies of laws that don't necessarily not pertain to people, but like people just kind of inherently accept. Like if you want it to be a rule that people follow, it's gotta rhyme.
Okay, fair enough. Like what's an example?
It has to be catchy. Like I don't have a rhyme, but I have a catchy one. Like see something, say something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not like a bill.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like
exactly. Yeah,
it's gotta be memorable.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess my overarching point, there's mutual appreciation between those doing both.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I mean, I think we was talking about earlier. Like I've always thought, like just like if you was able to get like 3 or 4 of your homies that's like some funny motherfuckers, and you kind of like all just get up there and start reminiscing like the blue collar comedy tour we were talking about. That's some of the best. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't
know if you mentioned it, but I feel like the other one might be Ron White.
I know who you're talking about. I'm not as familiar with his stuff, but
he could probably sell on that. Yeah,
I think he was on the original one.
On the original,
the last name that we were thinking about.
Okay. Yeah, man, that shit cool, man. But I've always liked stand up. Like ever since I can remember, I always watched that. Like new special come out, like we gonna watch it. Like the new Dave Chappelle special, we gonna tune into it. New Cat Williams. I'm trying to think. There's a couple other comedians that I like. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but it might come to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's cool how easy it is to find them too. Like Netflix puts a ton of them out. YouTube, you can find them.
Absolutely.
HBO has always done that.
HBO ones.
Yeah.
And I mean, realistically, now it's like YouTube is the main attraction, even if it's clips of like old specials that were done on previous platforms, like
The
there's
accessibility
always-
of it. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I
'Cause
remember
everyone's on it.
when I first found out about Andrew Schultz from them little Instagram videos he was doing, where it was like turn your phone to the side type shit. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
His like minute rants. Or,
little
yeah.
2 minute, 1 minute rants and shit. That's kind of how I first found out about him, and then you know what I'm saying, he going crazy now, like
Yeah.
arena tours and all
Yeah.
kind of
He's
shit.
at the very top.
Flagrant.
Yeah, flagrant.
Shout out to Kosh.
Another one of my favorite
Yeah.
was Louis C.K.
Sure. Yeah.
It's
Love
just
his shit.
incredible.
Oh my
So
gosh.
good.
Yeah.
So funny.
Have y'all seen the couple, like it was like 2 specials he did where he put them out like on his website or something? It's like
I haven't seen the website once because they're like
No.
you have to pay for each one of them. But I saw one's called like Sorry. Another one's he's
okay.
been putting out a
the
lot of
Netflix ones.
stuff.
Yeah.
I seen I really like his comedy, so I wasn't tripping. I was like, I'll pay the little $10, $15 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I seen that shit. I was like, all right, bet. Like I went on the email, and it's just like you go to the website, and then it's like a little link or something, and you could just watch
Right.
it. That shit was funny as hell. He put out like one like right when he came back from all that shit, and then he had like another one like last summer.
Yeah.
And that shit was funny as hell, man.
We gotta watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta just like
I
get.
feel like we're so behind.
We just gotta like buy whatever's on the website because the whole Louis show that he did like 5 seasons of or whatever,
Mhm.
that's all on there. It's all, you can buy all of it. So at some point for sure.
Yeah.
Because like the couple of things he has on Netflix are so good.
They're
Oh yeah, absolutely.
spectacular.
Yeah.
And he did a movie recently, like last year too.
Yeah,
I haven't
with
seen it, but
who's the other guy that does Tuesdays with Stories?
Oh, Joe List.
Joe List is the main character in that movie.
Really?
But so he produced it himself, Louis C.K., put it on the
Okay.
website. It like
yeah.
I absolutely
like
love. the
supposed to
idea
be
of
an
that.
insanely good movie.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. I haven't seen the movie, but I seen the trailer for it.
I like that. Like getting I don't want to say like big because like anybody could do it, but like realizing that similar to like the music industry of what you were saying earlier, like there's a lot of politics behind what gets put out and things like that. But being big enough to recognize your influence and then saying, why can't I do that?
Yeah, like fuck it, I'm gonna do it my
Like
own
Bill
way.
Burr's doing it, like old
Mhm.
dads.
Yeah, Bill Burr, definitely, man, one of my favorites. I used to listen to the little weekly podcast he would put out or bi-weekly or whatever it was.
It's like Monday something.
the Monday, Wednesday, or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, I used to listen to that all, like
Him and Bert Kreischer did one for a little while.
yeah.
I think it
not
was called
Birdcast.
Bill Burt Podcast.
Yeah,
him
Bill
and,
Burr.
him
Yeah.
and Paul Verzi did one.
Paul Verzi's just, I saw him on, I think it was Take Your Shoes Off, and I had really not had a whole lot of like interaction with him. Funny as fuck.
Yeah, he's funny, bro.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Bill Burr, definitely one of my favorites for sure. I was listening to his podcast for a minute.
We got to see him back in October, earlier than that.
Yeah,
He went to
American Airlines.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! I just went to the Future concert.
Oh, no
2
shit.
weeks
Oh, that's
ago.
cool.
Yeah.
Damn. That'd be a cool venue for it.
Oh yeah, man. I had never been there before. It was sick, man. But Future been one of my favorite artists for a long time. So it's cool to finally like see him live.
Going
and
off
shit.
of that, I don't want to derail your
No, go ahead,
question a little bit, but we talked about your comedic influences. What about music? Music
As far
influences.
as influences, like as far as like my favorite
Inspiration,
artists,
maybe,
okay, inspirational, yeah,
Yeah.
Like as far as like what, like as far as what I could say, like probably
who made
Twostoag
directly
influences my music, like definitely Lil Wayne for sure.
Okay.
Like like since a little kid, favorite artist.
Real G is moving silence.
Absolutely,
Like
absolutely. Bones for sure. Sesh Hollow Water Boys. Like Bones is part of Sesh Hollow Water Boys, but like the whole group definitely. J Electronica.
Okay.
For sure. Wretch. Kid Cudi.
Yeah. Fuck. My bad.
Um,
I love Kid Cudi.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. That shit, Mozzie for sure. Some like Sacramento, definitely. I mean, that's where I'm from, so that gonna influence the music. Shit. I mean, there's a lot of that's probably the major ones. I know I'm probably forgetting some. I'm gonna look back and be like, damn, I should have said. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's probably for the most part. I'm trying to think of like who else. Like, I mean, O3 Greedo, definitely.
That's cool to be able to get your influences from so many different groups too, so you can really formulate what you are and what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I just growing up listening to music, like just always like my pops used to play old country stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then my mom listened to like the Police and Sting and like all kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like I had a lot of different music being played in my house at a young age. So I think that kind of,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely made me like just my ears open to a lot of different sounds.
Right.
So I make, you know what I'm saying, I rap, but like the influences come from a lot of different places. Like we was playing like Shania Twain and shit in the house going
Shout out.
Yeah. I'm saying like Willie Nelson, like all kind of just different shit. You know
He's going back out on tour.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That motherfucker old as shit, man. Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Gotta go see him.
Dude, he's gonna be at Billy Bob's soon. I don't remember the date, but I mean, like tickets are gonna be.
It's probably already sold out.
Yeah,
I was the Future concert. We wasn't like right up next to the stage or nothing, but it wasn't too bad. But I seen for the Lil Wayne concert, they wanted like 500 just for general admission. I was like,
that's insane.
For general admission.
Yeah, man.
Just sit way in the back.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's a little bit much. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, you know what I'm saying? One of the biggest artists ever.
Ever.
So
yeah. Truly.
You want, you know what I'm saying?
And you never know when they might be on tour again or if they will.
That's a good point. That's a good point. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, eventually they all go back out on tour. Like, there's only so much you can put that off before you like. I can make $500 for a general admission ticket.
Yeah, man. That's it. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other artists like Young Simi, for sure. And then like a lot of times like I get inspiration from like the people like my homies that I make music with. Like they'll make a song that's real, you know what I'm saying, that's real going hard or something like that, and then I'll be like, okay, well, I see what they did, like, because it's cool. Like the people that I make music with, like I got my homie JP and Max B, you know what I'm saying, my homie Yosh. That like kind of, and then Young Rich who make the beats. Like that's kind of like our core, like our group of people that we make music with, and it's cool because none of us really make the same. Like we all rap, right? But it's like we don't make the same kind of music.
Okay.
So it's cool to be able to like listen to something they made and just get inspired just off of the like the creativity of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
So we kind of inspire each other, and then like. Of course, like we do songs together and stuff like that. We feature each other on shit and whatnot. Like, hey, bro, I got this beat. Like, I think, you know what I'm saying, you would sound good on it. Like, hop on this track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Type shit like that. So
that's cool. They're still looking out too.
Absolutely.
Like that's that's awesome. It's a supportive community.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And ain't no more fun to me than like working on something with one of your friends and y'all both are trying to do something creatively. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
like,
yeah. Like I'd legitimately think if you didn't move here, I don't think I'd be doing stand up. Like truly, like I mean, there's something about being part of that community that not only pushes you to be better, but also pushes you to keep going.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you'd be like, damn, bro, just you know what I'm saying. He spit that shit crazy. Like, man, that's hard as hell. Like, I got like, especially when you're on the same song together. Like, if my homie, you know what I'm saying, if he do a crazy ass verse, like. I'm not trying to sound bad on the verse. You know
pushing you to be better.
I gotta go that much harder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Damn. I like it.
Yeah, me too. Man. Yeah, our like original plan, I was gonna end up moving to Boston for a bit.
Okay.
I was gonna start comedy there. You were gonna start comedy here. Yeah, it would have ended up completely different.
Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to go that way.
Nope.
That would have sucked.
Hey man, as long you know what I'm saying, the plan always changes, but you know what I'm saying, stick to it. Stick to the original goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Goal stays the same. Plan just switches up.
Yeah.
Man. What do we think about closing this one out and going to get some food?
You want to close it out?
I was thinking about it.
Yeah, we could close it out. I'm a little bit hungry. All right, this has been episode 9 of the Comedy Virgins podcast.
Yeah.
Where can the people find you?
At 916 Macramento on Instagram.
We'll tag it.
Yeah,
we'll tag it.
I don't really be on Twitter or nothing like that, but Instagram for sure at 916 Macramento, and then at Twostoag on SoundCloud. And my new album, Respiratory Rot, coming out probably the end of the month, beginning of April. It's gonna be on Spotify and Apple Music.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, I got like 17, 18 songs on there.
Hell yeah.
Me and
we researched your SoundCloud a little bit.
Okay.
Was listening to some of the songs, and we saw you just released a couple of them.
Yeah, man. I've been working with Donovan New, producer I found on YouTube. I use a lot of his beats. But the new album, Respiratory Rot, is completely 100% produced by my boy Young Rich from SAC. We've been working on this for probably 2 years now. So yeah, it's gonna be a big project.
Go check them out.
Yeah, we've been working on the artwork and all that. Just the song's been done for a while. We just trying to get everything ready for the drop, and I've been working on some music videos, and yeah, man. So Respiratory Rot, that's gonna be coming out soon.
Respiratory Riot.
Respiratory rot.
Like
respiratory rot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
rot, not riot.
Yeah. I done rotted my shit out, man. Man, I appreciate y'all having me on, man.
Dude, absolutely, man. We got to do this again. This is so fun.
Absolutely. This has been spectacular.
Yeah. All right, that's about it. See you. Bye, Colby. See you guys.
Bye, Colby. Love you, buddy. Mwah.
Hell yeah.